Back survivors, you're listening to Firefly and the Worm, night voice of East Mercer's forgotten neighborhoods. The heroes save the city, and the rest of us save ourselves. Great news. I have been officially compensated. That's right. The Hero Fund sent me a $12 gift card. Let me explain. About 18 emails, 4 phone calls, 2 online applications, 1 in-person appointment, and a 27-page document proving that my missing living room was in fact previously attached to the rest of my apartment. The Hero Recovery Foundation has finally responded. So they gave me a thermal blanket, which I appreciate, even though it came like 11 days after I've lost heat. But, I appreciate the optimism. The second item was a flashlight, but it had no batteries. Bold choice. Third was a stress ball, shaped like a Sentinel helmet. I mean, wow. Nothing helps you recover from hero-related property damage, much like squeezing a foam helmet. And finally, I got a personal message. This is nice. Let me read it to you. It says, "Dear valued citizen." Wow, it's already very intimate. "During these difficult times, remember the Vanguard Collective stands with you." Do they? I mean, because technically standing with us would require them to actually come down to East Mercer. But, which they rarely do. It says, "We are rebuilding together." That's a nice sentence. I mean, they're not the ones carrying the plywood or clearing the streets or finding lost pets after an evacuation, but I mean, who rebuilt Mrs. Delgado's front porch? Of course, Carlos and 3B did. I mean, Carlos has, back problems and one working knee, but, nobody made an action figure out of Carlos, I mean, honestly, I would buy one. I mean, I could pull a string and it would say like, "Ow, my knee." Limited edition Carlos action figure. Speaking of Miss Delgado, okay, somebody started a rumor that she was injured in last week's attack. She was not. She is perfectly fine. In fact, according to several witnesses, she actually yelled at a 7-foot armored villain because he stepped on her flowers. I mean, he did apologize, but not that anyone's keeping track, It was a 3-hour battle, so... Mrs. Delgado got her 15 seconds of a mild disappointment. The winner is still unclear. Also, Sal's Deli reopened today. Again, this man Sal, he's unstoppable. At this point, I'm not fully sure that Sal is the most powerful person in East Mercer. And that building of his has been frozen, flooded, burned, teleported 12 feet, and moved to the left somehow. And he's still open, and he's still serving sandwiches. There's, of course, a sign outside that says "No superhero fighting inside." Optimistic. It feels a little less like a request and more like a prayer. That's the part people in East Mercer don't understand. They think we hate heroes, but we don't. I mean, that's the easy story, sure, but that's not the simple story. Put a microphone in front of some angry guy after a disaster and suddenly, "Oh, local residents turn against the heroes." Yeah, it's a great headline. Easy clicks, but nobody interviews Sal. Nobody interviews Mrs. Delgado. Nobody interviews Lewis, who rebuilt the same apartment complex like 4 times, I think. 4? Yeah, 4. Nobody interviews the people in the shadow of greatness, because honestly, we complicate the story, and people hate it when it's complicated. Okay, listener questions. First one, Anonymous asks, "Dear Firefly, if you dislike heroes so much, why do you know everything about them?" Wow, starting off real gentle today, are we? I don't dislike heroes, okay? I dislike the system that tells me, that convinces people in general that certain people in the world matter more than other people just because they wear a certain symbol on their chest. I mean, that's different, right? And secondly, I know all about heroes because when you grew up with somebody who tried to become a hero his entire life and then finally got a chance to be a sidekick, you learn. You learn the names, you learn the rankings, you learn the teams, you learn the history, memorize the powers that you don't even care about because they care, because the people you love care. All right, you sit through the interviews, you buy the posters, you watch all the training videos, you listen to them talk about how someday they're going to make a difference and how they're going to stand beside some of the greatest heroes on earth. And you try to pretend that you're not scared because they're happy and you love them. And so you clap. Even when every single ounce of you wants to say, please choose a different career. Anyway, great question. Deeply uncomfortable. 5 stars. Please never ask it again. Before we wrap up tonight, something strange happened. I debated mentioning this, but I probably shouldn't. Which historically means I absolutely am going to. A package arrived today with no return address. No postage, just my broadcast written on it, Firefly and the Worm. Not my name, my real name. And inside was a sidekick issue and like an old communicator. Vanguard model, standard issue. They stopped making this version 3 years ago. Now, most of you know why, and I'm not saying that it's his. There were hundreds made, hundreds, okay? That's like the logical answer that I'm going with. Except there was something else in the box. It was a birthday card. Old, damaged, barely readable. But I did recognize the handwriting. And there were only 2 people inside who would understand the joke that was written inside, and one of them was me. And the other one disappeared 2 years ago from the containment zone. So, either someone is playing the cruelest joke imaginable, or the official story about Black Star is just wrong. Which is impossible, but I'll update you when I know more. Okay, stay safe, check on your neighbors. And remember, heroes may save the city, but the rest of us survive it. End transmission.